G'day and welcome to the 2020 coverage of the Two Heads Open. My name's Oscar Felberg and I'm joined today by Chris Reynolds.
G'day guys, super stoked to be here on Cut Roll Media.
Yeah, we're out at Poimena in Tasmania. Beautiful course. It's, great landscapes and, we've got some really good disc golf coming up.
100%. Easily favourite course in Australia.
Yeah, and it was really great weather for this final nine. Actually, great weather the whole weekend. Lots of people showed up to the event. It was a really good showing.
Yeah, it was weird to play Hobart with no wind for a change.
Yeah, often get a lot of wind coming off the bay. And this was the first year that the Hobart Disc Golf Club even existed. And they ran a really good tournament.
Yeah, top notch. Really good crowd. Yeah, it was just all round top notch.
Yeah, and as we see yourself leading the way at 3 under, followed by Dylan Spangenberg, the ring-in from the States, at even, and Jazz 1 over. He's been on the show a few times. And Chris Barringer, a new guy on the, well, not a new guy on the Aussie disc golf scene, but new guy to the coverage, sitting back at 9 over.
Yeah, fair to say I'm super nervous going into this first tee here.
And hole one's a really interesting starting hole for a course. I feel like it's really technical, but you've also got to rip it, so
yeah,
not an easy one.
112 uphill, plays I think close at 130. There's plenty of space up on the green, but yeah, for mine it's 110% throw. I'm just looking to flex one up there and get into circle 1 or 2, maybe have a look, but every putt at Poimena is a death putt.
Yeah. What are you throwing here?
This is my Avery Destroyer. I think it's like 2012 or something. Super beat in, and I'll take that.
Smashed it. Wow. That's pretty rare to see a park job here. And we got the cut roll reenactment. Not quite the real thing, but pretty much the same. Pretty cool shot here from Matt Green, our drone operator.
That was wicked.
Yeah, and up next, Dylan Spangenberg. He's been hanging around the Melbourne disc golf scene quite a bit. We'll see how he goes.
Not sure what he's throwing. I know he loves his Wraith, so maybe it's a Wraith. It's flipped up nicely.
Definitely. Yeah, wow. It's really straight. This is the Poimena hillsides coming into effect. Just didn't catch enough edge and sort of slid down the hill. But he's got a putt.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, gravity's always got a lot to say what happens at this course.
Yep, definitely. And Jazz is kind of taking a different play, it looks like, here. It's usually sort of a layup play to go the big hyzer, but he's got some sneaky power. Well, not even sneaky, it's just all-out power.
The boy can crush. Yeah, the hyzer line, I've seen it play years gone by, but again, with more wind and the right wind, that line's definitely in play, but I wasn't even looking at it this weekend.
That was ridiculous. That's pretty much inside the circle, I think. He's got a bit of the death putt, but I don't think Jazz is really worried about that. Up last, Chris. He's kind of trying to take the flex line, I think, as well, but he got that a little high. It's down there, maybe 20 meters out. And we had a good gallery too, actually. Lots of people following along.
No, it's a really always enjoy obviously having the other divisions finish up and the open guys playing the final 9, and when the guys stay around to follow, it's always good to get that crowd.
Yeah, definitely. Whoa, Dylan. Uphill putt, hitting the band. Very good effort there. This is Jazz looking down his birdie. Oof.
Gave it a run.
Yeah. Tapping in his par there. Honestly, I think most of the field is pretty happy with a par on this hole. Just first hole of the course, it's a good one to not lose any strokes on.
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever birdied this hole.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not playing it for birdie. I'm just trying to get up there.
That's unreal. That was a great drive. Getting a stroke on everyone there.
Yeah, so 4 shots, 8 to play. Feeling pretty good at this point, fair to say.
This is hole 2. There's a sort of variety of ways of attacking it. We've got OB beyond the gravel road that wraps around the left side and behind the basket. Lots of people taking flex sidearms to sort of play into the hillside, straight mid-range, and there's a backdoor sneaky hyzer that some crazy people take. You're going the sidearm there.
Yeah, just throwing down my more stable destroyer, just, trying to fall into the hillside and get a putt.
Dylan following suit. He's going a little bit straighter, it looks, and if that sits, that's pretty good. That's about 7 meters short.
Yeah, it's about a 20 feet putt. It's done well.
You've been playing too much putt 360. You're stuck in feet.
I know.
Oh, and Jazz pushed that long. That's hit the out of bounds.
Yeah, this hole is just another hole that falls away from you, and if it doesn't go down, it can get OB.
Yep. Chris playing the straight mid-range and hitting this sort of bunker of bushes in front.
The snake pit.
Yeah. Soft vid there and not taking any damage by the looks. This is Jazz to save par. Spit out! Spewing.
Those baskets have done that a few times this weekend, it's fair to say.
That was straight through the chains. Gee. Oh.
Yeah.
That wasn't straight through the chains.
Just don't know what happened there. Just an air ball to get going.
Come back up. Oh. You can't even say you got nubbed. Those baskets don't even have them. Gee.
Yeah, got noobs.
Yeah. That's a solid birdie there by Daz. Dylan, yep. Getting things going for him. He's trying to chase you down, so he's doing the work.
Yeah, that's washed off my birdie real fast.
Yeah, I think we're just feeling a bit shaky, bit nervy still.
Yeah, the whole way through, I think I held on to the nerves, but I obviously didn't have to make a putt on hole 1, so that was my first putt for the final, and it didn't go so well. Thought I'd get a few putts in while I was at it.
Yeah. So some damage there on that hole, 2-stroke swing, Spangers picking up some strokes there on yourself and Jazz. We move on to hole 3. It's a fairly short par 4 and honestly pretty attackable. MPO guys have got to be licking their chops on this one. You've got OB along the right side, road, OB fence on the left, but really it's just 2 shots straight up a hill. Not much more to say than that.
Yeah, 140 metre par 4. It's a bit of a must-get birdie here.
Definitely plays significantly uphill, but as long as you give it the air, your drive should set you up really well, and Dylan's done that perfectly there.
Yeah, that's A1 position there.
Chris gets this one a bit low. Skips up there though, it's alright.
Yeah, good Australian summer, hard pack ground.
What are you tapping the baby's bum of there?
Yeah, that's the flippy destroyer again. I just didn't commit to that enough there, didn't flip over at all.
That's an interesting spot. We'll see. You might have like a straddle out from there, but it's gonna be tricky. Jazz just ripping into one. I don't even think he's worried about these trees. He's got the power to absolutely fly past them. That's that's better than perfect. That's unreal. Barringer's approach here. He's going the hyzer. This is kind of out over the OB, but yeah, perfect. And this is your lie.
Yeah, sizing up a couple of different options here. I didn't know whether to come out wide for a sidearm or like a patent pending shot for a backhand. Definitely have a gap in my bag at this point. I've ended up going for my Champion Rock. It's the most understable mid I have, which is not really an understable mid, but just trying to get up there for a putt. got a long look
that's left you sort of 15 short, but a good shape, like decent get out of trouble there. Got a putt. This is Dylan's approach and buzzing the basket. Almost going long, almost finding the OB, but staying just inside the circle. And this is just a pitch up. This is nothing. Hung that a little wide, but it's well within Jazz range. Oof. Just struggling to sink him, but that was quite a long putt.
Yeah.
And Dylan finding the opposite problem there, hitting the cage. Jazz doing what you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bit wary of the basket since the spit out on the previous hole, I think.
Yeah, well, at this point I've played a couple of rounds with him, and unfortunately he's had a few spit outs over all morning, I guess, on the Sunday, but the Saturday afternoon as well, he had more than his fair share of spit outs.
Good birdie there by Chris. I think,
regulation.
Honestly, there's a putting style that I think works on these baskets, and Jazz's is about the worst you could pick. Just super direct spin putt, and it does entice the spit outs with these baskets. But he did pick up the birdie there, picking up another stroke.
How's this view?
Yeah, picturesque course, just amazing. Hard to say anymore.
Yeah, this is one of my dream holes. If I had a dream 18, this one's definitely in it. It's another hole with quite a few options. Left, right, straight at it.
Players were able to elect to tee off from the side of the gravel tee. Chris I think he's just having a bit of early release problems there. Put that one into the ground again.
Jazz should be looking at the highs bomb, yeah. He just caught a little bit of a limb there, but he's come back in bounds.
Yeah, there is OB long of the basket and along the right side, so that hyzer has to get back left, but looks like it just managed to do that. Dylan going an interesting one. I haven't really seen anyone do this. This is, I believe, a star rat he's forehanding, so a slow mid-range. Just trying to caress it down the fairway and just got a little stable on him there.
Yeah, the OB left and right of the basket really sneaks up on you. I'm throwing a KJ T-bird, just trying to go straight here.
Wow, that's quite fast for this hole, I feel, but looks like you're trying to control it well. That's checking up, yep.
Also checks up.
Gee, you can see the nerves on your face there.
Oh. This is not an easy second now.
Yeah. This is where the speed control really comes into play, and having that basket on that sort of mounded rocky outcrop is really tricky, and he's just slid that one long out of bounds. This is Jazz flexing. I've got to say that's a Harper or a Justice or something, but gee.
It's an unbelievable shot.
That's ridiculous to hit the mulch and just sit there from... the technicality of that shot was insane. Looks like Dylan's gone the star rat again and just put it a little long. You're smartly laying up there.
100% of the time.
Yeah, I feel like the layup per round at Poimena is definitely one of the highest of the courses in Australia, as Dylan just rooms out there. This is kind of one for you to steady the ship a bit.
Yeah, get one in there, get a par.
Dylan takes an unfortunate bogey, as Chris, I think, will end up with the double. And Jazz, that's an amazing pass save from where he was.
Yeah, that was an awesome scramble.
So you're still 3 shots clear of Spangers and 4 of Jazz. So we move on to hole 5. This is the island hole. It's quite a tough island hole as the slope and the basket's basically blind off the tee. The OB, you can't quite see it in the video, but it's about 8 meters to the OB on the left and maybe 15 on the right. So it does allow you to sort of lay up to the fat side, but that will leave you with the death putt.
Yeah, obviously if you make the island here, you've got a chance for birdie, but miss the island and saving par is really difficult.
Yeah, that will take you to the drop zone, which is maybe a 12-meter putt, which is not an easy one. Wow, and you've got it on, and it's the Poimena roll.
I got Rads by a spotter there as well. Got the green flags from the spotter, and you can see Dylan pointing it out here because I turned my back on it.
No, that wasn't the Nuke OS, was it?
It definitely was.
Oh no. Dylan going a similar shot as well, but he just trickled in bounds there, so...
Yeah, he left it a little short, but got in.
Yeah. And, yeah, Chris just struggling with the early releases there. 3 rounds in, it gets a bit like that. And this is the drop zone. Not much thoughts there.
No, the OB's, 2-3 meters behind the basket there. It's a really, really testing death putt. Chris looks like he's lining it up though.
Yeah, Chris hasn't got much to lose, so let's see if he can create some sparks.
Oh.
Got the height on that.
Yeah.
And he got the sit too. That actually stayed in bounds.
Dylan's also sizing up.
Yeah, I mean, anytime I feel like Dylan's just outside the circle, that step putt warms up and he's good to go.
Oh. Thought he had it.
Running it in, just connecting with the band.
That's a sick bid. That's not a putt I'm running.
Nah. Trying to make something happen. Jazz also staring down a death putt here. This is going straight out of bounds if he misses. Whoa. Cold heart, just boom, in the center.
Yeah, the footage doesn't really do justice how steep and how scary that is, I think. That was a great putt.
Yeah, Chris just still struggling a bit, but he's always on the card, keeping spirits high. Like, great guy to play with, so...
Yeah, it's the first time I've got to play around with him. It was awesome.
Now we see the scenery again. Just, I feel like every hole, if you're struggling, you can just sort of look out around you and really soak in just some amazing aspect.
Yeah, 100%.
Alright, hole 6. This is sort of a strange shot. You don't really play too often. Playing across a road and a bit of across a valley into a right to left sloping green. A lot of people go on the flex forehand to finish late into the green, or a straight mid-range, if controlled well, can also get the job done.
Yeah, I guess it's the elevation on this hole, but it plays really weird. Like, for an 85-meter hole, you can land very far away from the basket.
Yeah, exactly. Especially the backhand, if you get it just gliding down that hillside, it can be really, really long putt. That was, yeah, and also ending up right side brings in sort of the trees around the backside of the green, so Dylan's going to have an interesting look there, even though he is pin high. You put a good move on that, but did it connect with the pole?
No, it just caught the gum on the other side of it, I think. We're going for a flex sidearm there, but caught something.
This is the straight mid-range inside gap. Don't see that taken very often, but it's actually worked pretty well. It's maybe 10 meters uphill looking at the basket.
it's inside 4 or 5.
Oh, that disc almost looked like it wanted to roll then, but sat nicely right there for a tap in.
Yeah, you just never want to see a wobble.
No. This is Dylan's. Look, he's found some straddled out. And he's found a look.
Oh!
To get that through chain high. And then be punished by what appears to be a roll away. That's Poimena. It doesn't really play favourites at all. It doesn't care how good your effort was. It'll roll if it wants to.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't play fair.
Jazz making good on his par there. Dylan getting the unfortunate bogey. Didn't deserve that. And the two Chris's will walk away with pars. As we see there, Jazz actually moving up to take second place there. And we move on to what is an infamous hole at Poimena. You've got a maybe 40, 50 meter tunnel, but it's through a par 4, short par 4, 106 meters, but that tunnel is so tight. You just want to get out of there. And then if you do get out there on your first, you can sort of work a pretty easy approach either through the backside or around the left side of the green. Jazz, he's got the tomahawk, and that's a huge weapon for this hole.
It's a massive weapon for this hole. Watched him eagle it just this morning in the morning round. He got the tomahawk out and then threw in a ridiculous second.
How did I not hear about that? What?
And I'm playing it the traditional way, into the woods somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Traditional way is just straight up missing the gap. There's
Oi!
one.
That's a shot.
Off the short tee pad, straight out the gap. And again, there's the Poimena doesn't play favourites. Great shot.
Jazz is
Roll
in
away.
it. We'll watch these drives.
Dylan, I believe that's MD3 there, so he's going a sort of straight, stable mid-range, which is pretty impressive.
Kick out.
And yeah, Poimena loves that one, so that's straight to the short tee pad by the looks. That's not a bad spot to be.
I'm just going to take my medicine here.
There's really not much else to do. You can't even go up and out because the bushes are so thick above you. I believe that was your T-bird forehanding again there.
Yeah, it was.
Were you trying to get all the way to the pin there?
Yeah, I wanted a bit more flex on it. You can see Dylan's trying to do the same thing as well. He hasn't got over on that enough. I'm trying to send it out further to the left than to come in on top of the basket, but just didn't get quite over it. So Jazz's one in the morning got a harsher roll than this, further down the hill.
Wow.
And then proceeded to throw it in.
Wow. And this is the backdoor route to the basket. Barron just trying to show us there. Just pulled it a little bit. It's a good up from Dylan there.
Yeah, he's really touchy with those flick approaches.
And this is Jazz going, how about I get 2 eagles on this hole today then? Sends it off. Just a bit short, but, you know, tap in birdie, that's what he needs those at this point.
Yeah.
Oof. Great run. That's well out of position with his disc up a tree. And this is not the look you want.
Yeah, it was a bit jaily in there, but I found a way to get onto the green.
Dylan saves par. Solid putt downhill.
Tap in birdie.
Yeah, wow. 3 down on that hole for the day. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And that is Two-stroke swing?
Two-stroke swing. Birdie
Once
bogey.
again. Wow, and that ties things up. 2 holes to play. Hole 8, 103 meters. Plays fairly downhill, but across an OB road. And you kind of got this one tree in the middle to shoot around, and then try and work your way up onto the green. There's not really a hyzer out there, so I think that was just a bit of a grip lock by Jazz there.
Yeah.
Dylan said, "I like that line. How about I see if just scientific? You got to double check whether there is or is not a line there."
Well, he's had the box for a while there, Jazz, so he thought he must know what he's doing.
This is more like it just needed a little more flip. It's caught the tree. Oh, not again. How is it that brutal?
It's still going. There it is.
You know it's bad when the camera's just still rolling and people are still watching. Ooh. Almost splitting the trees.
Yeah, it's a tree you sort of aim at and you hope to miss it right, but you're happy to miss it left.
That's sort of given you a bit of a look there. Maybe 13 meters high of the pin? But it's definitely a death putt green. It's all of the greens here. This one with that
It's another
sharp,
great approach by Dylan.
Yeah, with the sharp rocks on the backside of the green,
I was confused by that basket for a second.
Yeah, Poimena sort of plays across itself quite a few times, but the layout does really work. And this is safe, just across the road. And this is your look. Half run, or are you just trying to
No, just laying up. With the road OB just at the bottom of that hill, knowing that there's still a hole to play.
Wow. Put the pressure on Jazz then to make that, and that's not an easy putt. I've got to say that was outside the circle, but huge putt uphill.
Yeah, circle's edge at least. Sick putt.
He's seeming pretty focused at this point, Jazz. Hasn't really made too much of a false move so far. As you also take out your par here, and that pushes things to the last hole. Tied up at the lead. Spangers 2 shots back. Hole 9. This is a bit of a change from previous years. We're shooting through 2 Mandos. We've just gone through there. Past this basket, which is the normal par 3 basket. Up around a second Mando you must pass to the left of, and around to the basket. There's sort of a few OB shelters along the way as well. Lots of weird stuff to sort of navigate, but
yeah, it's a great 18th really. Anything could happen on it. After some gettable par 4s, this one's a monster.
Yeah. The second shot especially, it plays significantly uphill, and you can't see the basket from pretty much any landing zone. And Jazz shows you right where you want to put it. Wow.
Yeah, that's money.
Yeah, you see a lot of people go the flex sidearm again to sort of play up the hillside.
Yeah, start going towards the basket. It's what I go for as well here.
That's if it gets sneaky, that's all right. It's caught up a little short.
Yeah, just checked up. Well,
like Chris was going for a big backhand flex shot, which if you're going to try and bite off distance, that's how you're going to do it. And what are you thinking here? You're trying to get to the basket?
No, just beat the next Mando.
Yep.
Whoa.
Okay. That shelter, that concrete there is out of bounds, and that has just snuck in. Very lucky break. That's sort of almost a common mistake here because you can't see the basket. It's sort of hard to trust turning the disc over, and with that Mando tree on the right side, Jazz is going backhand, full attack mode. That's close to the Mando there. It's just snuck around, and that's crazy to get long off the pin on the second.
Circle 1 in 2 shots on this hole.
Wow.
Is good going.
And that's really put the pressure back on you now, as we see Dylan get up there.
Yeah, I think I quickly find out that he's only about 4 meters out. Obviously, I don't know from where we are at the moment, but I get a little bit of a look, and yeah, he's parked it. So I'm forced to give this a run.
And this is 25?
Yeah.
Not easy. Wind is swirling, and yeah, tough one. And there, bit of dejected clap there. Putting it all on Jazz to make this putt here. And you can tell he's gonna put all his focus on this one.
Awesome.
Ooh. One more test of the basket. That one came back and hit the rim, but what a putt. Just slammed it in there.
Yeah, unreal.
And at that point, that's it. He's walked away with it. Well, come back and snuck away with it, really.
No, he played solidly all night. Picked up pars and birdies and got the job done.
Yeah, some great scramble shots. Played hole 9, this hole just perfectly. And, wow. Yeah, well done, Jazz. See everyone wrap it up there. Well done, Jazz. That's any win in any division at Poimena feels like an absolute gem. And both Sweetens walking away winners of MPO and FPO divisions there.
Not their first time, I'm sure. Yeah, and
No.
just to go under par as well at Poimena, like over the weekend, it's so easy to go over par at this course. So awesome tournament by Jazz, deserved winner.
Thanks to Ollie and the Hobart Disc Golf Club. This is their first year really existing, the first year Poimena has had a disc golf club. So, congrats to them, and thanks to Ollie and Paddy for sponsoring this coverage. And hopefully we can keep it rolling in the future. Catch you next time, guys.
Cheers, Oscar.